All right, guys, welcome back in Slaughterhouse Kurt Magoosh Sports. You guys can follow the channel. Love to subscribe if possible. So basically, big news out of Madison today. The new offensive coordinator for Wisconsin football is going to be Phil Longo. And Phil Longo is a lot of air raid. He's a lot of, tempo. That's what Phil Longo's all about. And he'll spread it around the yard now. So his offenses will put up points. And, Phil Longo also was there with DK Metcalf and A.J. Brown at Ole Miss with Matt Luke, as that was his time as an offensive coordinator. And I like Phil Longo a little bit, but also at the same time, I'm worried about Phil Longo. And I'll tell you why, because Phil Longo's offenses, they're very, very simple. Now, I've never played football, but to people who've played, they say that Phil Longo has a simplistic offense. But the thing is, you're going to score. And Sam Howell put up pretty good points at UNC. Did Sam Howell progress? He did a decent job of progressing. I think Phil Longo can really see good quarterback play. Drake Maye had a very successful year. So Luke Fickell, it's interesting because I believe they go from Mike Denbrock. The thing is at Cincinnati is that Luke Fickell seemed to run a very pro-style offense at Cincinnati. He was very, very pro-style. Like, they would run the football, play physical running football, and then play defense. And now Luke Fickell's kind of getting outside of his box as a head coach, because Luke Fickell, play good special teams, play solid defense. But Phil Longo is like from the Scott Frost of let's throw it all around the yard. You can ask Matt Luke, you can ask Ole Miss. North Carolina doesn't run the ball. North Carolina throws the ball with Drake Maye all over the yard. So did Ole Miss with Jordan Ta'amu. And you add DK Metcalf and A.J. Brown, and even in that combine, I still remember, DK Metcalf can only run like one route. He can only go deep. He doesn't run the route tree. So how applicable will this offense be to the NFL? Are people going to be drawn away from it? That will be said as a hit in recruiting. But there is a but to this, is that his offenses are explosive and his offenses put up big points. So, Phil Longo's a New Jersey guy. I think Phil Longo can really get good offense. Seems kind of strict, but that's Phil Longo, and Luke Fickell seems a little bit strict as well. So it's going to be an interesting combination. Is this going to be a long-term combination? That's what we need to think about, guys. Is this going to be a long-term partnership between Luke Fickell and Phil Longo? And I don't necessarily like it. I want kind of like your Tommy Rees, which is a young kind of pro-style attack at Wisconsin. Now, the one real positive is that what has Wisconsin been known for? It's been known for boring football. It's been known for poor quarterback play. Graham Mertz is a big quarterback recruit. He was not very good. Joel Stave forgot how to throw the ball. And trust me, I have my yips in putting as well in the sport of golf, okay? So I get it. But Joel Stave then came on and actually finished out his career very well and really made a great story for himself, and then was on the Vikings practice squad. So Phil Stave. So you remember, they haven't really had, ever since Russell Wilson was there way, way back in like 2013, or when was Russell there? 2012. They haven't had a really prolific passing game at Wisconsin. It's all been run the football. It's all like Monte Ball, Melvin Gordon, Jonathan Taylor, and now Braylon Allen. So it seems like a place for running back. It seems like running back you. And now you're adding a coordinator that's an aerial raid, throw it all over the yard, has about 4 plays, loves throwing it deep. It's a very interesting hire. Now, I was dead wrong on Josh Heupel. I thought that SEC defenses would figure out Josh Heupel. So maybe you add Phil Longo with the expertise of kind of the pro style game that like Luke Fickell is combining it into, and maybe it works magnificently because all Luke Fickell's been at Cincinnati has been successful, but this doesn't seem to fit. Okay, it doesn't seem to fit. It would seem like Phil Longo would be a really good. It seems like Phil Longo would be a really good coach in a total aerial raid, fun offense. I'm thinking like Graham Harrell. I'm thinking like Kenny Dillingham. I'm thinking about, Big 12 football. Air it out, let's go. So how much can Phil Longo continue to diversify his play calling as he continues to move up the ladder and be a play caller? It's also interesting because you're at UNC. Mac Brown lets you call a lot of plays at UNC. You have a tremendous quarterback in Drake Maye. It just is an interesting move. I mean, maybe he's getting paid more at Wisconsin, but I'm telling you, after that bowl game, you guys saw what happened at the end of the year. They lost to Georgia Tech. Drake Maye looked terrible in that bowl game. I really believe that Mac Brown, and it's possible Drake Maye and the Drake Maye family, they want Phil Longo gone. So, because the offense, it was really good this year, but they didn't finish well. So Phil Longo Phil Longo might have been given a life raft by a brand new staff in Luke Fickell. And that is interesting to me because Wisconsin seems like a place that so many people would have desired. So are you going to be going with a Phil Longo with Matt Luke that, come on, they had A.J. Brown and DK Metcalf, and they didn't really win any championships, and defenses said that it was pretty easy to guard them. So, listen, Phil Longo, I haven't been the biggest fan of, but could it work? It's possible. Did he develop Sam Howell? Did Sam Howell and Drake Maye, did they put up points and have successful seasons under Phil Longo? Objectively, yes. But how is this going to be really successful at Madison, Wisconsin? Is this going to be sustainable? Are they going to hit the ground running, and is Phil Longo going to be there a while? Now, could Phil Longo be angling to try to use Madison to be a head coach? I don't know. Hasn't been a head coach before. But this hire, man, it's an interesting hire. It is interesting to see how this is going to play out because Josh Gaddis wasn't successful, but could it be something that is really successful? Josh Heupel was successful. So this is a very modernized move. This is like we're throwing the ball. We're creating new identity immediately at Wisconsin. Could this just be like 1 year, hey, we're going to throw the ball and we're going to show Wisconsin that you can have a pass-first offense? Man, it's going to be crazy to see.